Welcome back, my dear students. So we have our form here. On the last lecture, we finished our models and all that, but it's time for us to start creating some data, okay? So the first thing that we are going to do is go to routes posts, right? And we know that this is working because we checked it, right? We know it's sending, it's working. And we need to start making sure that we send data to our database. We have the variables. Let's open that up. We have the name attributes, and these name attributes are going to send that data. Whatever we type in the form is going to send it as, for example, as some type of property or variable in our server called title. We're going to get that as a title. We're going to get this as a status, and we're going to get this as allow comments, right, in our server. That's what's going to happen. But when we go to our server here, we have no way of receiving that data. That data is supposed to come, we're supposed to parse that data. We receive the data, but we have no way of parsing it. Okay, out of the box, Node.js doesn't offer that ability. So we need to have some type of module to help us with that. And the module that is going to help us parse the post data is called the body parser. So we need to go to app.js and, well, as a matter of fact, I'm receiving a error here, a promise, and I'll tell you in a minute what that is. I'm going to actually resolve that real quick. This is because we're using promises here, okay? And out of the box, Mongoose is not, it doesn't have promises. They did have it before, but right now we are telling it to use the Mongo client promises. So the default promises for ES6. So we need to say, Mongoose, I want you to use the global promise that ES6 offers us. Okay, so this global object has the default promise library there, and we are assigning that to the Mongoose promise. So that way we don't have this error anymore. See that? So it says plug in your own promise library. That's what it's saying there. You can read more about why, or why we're doing this, because they decided not to include the promises anymore. I don't know, maybe later on they will in their, back in the day it wasn't like this, but now we have to do that. We have to use our own promises library. Okay, but anyway, so we got that out of the way. Let's go back to post. Here there's no way of parsing that data, so we need a way to do it. So we need to download a package. I'm gonna control C to terminate my server, and I'm gonna do npm install body-parser. Okay, and inside the app.js we are going to require this const body. That's what we're going to call it. We call it whatever we want, but when we require it, we have to give it the exact name of the package. It's called body parser, like this. Now we need to, let's see where I can put this. Before we load the routes, I'm gonna do it right here, body parser. And we're going to make sure that our application uses it by doing app use. And this is actually in the documentation, okay, in body parser. So when you see that package, you can look it up, but this is how we do it. Body parser dot URL encoded, and inside this function we include this object, and in this object we have to tell it what how we want the URL, okay, how is it going to be. So extended, and we're going to say it's true. App.use, this is something that it is in the documentation, guys. We want this to be able to parse JSON data as well, so make sure that we have parsing the JSON, pass the JSON there, and this should work now. So now in our post route, okay, in post.js right here, we can do a console right here like this, console dot, and we can get the data from the form like this. One thing that I want to do in the create, we're not going to be using files right now, so I'm just going to take that off for now. That's just going to interfere with me showing you something. So nullmon, let's turn on our server and let's see if we get some type of data. There we go. Submit. Let's come back here and you can see that those fields are coming in like that. All right. So there you have it, guys. We included a module to parse post data or data coming from form, and we are telling our application to use it right here by passing in this in a middleware. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next lecture where we are finally going to try to make this work and insert some data into the database and at the same time creating our database. Thank you so much, guys. This is getting really fun. See you in the next one.